Good day, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Today, and maybe there will be a couple of videos, we're going to look at fir thickets.
Fir thickets?
Fir thickets. There probably are not many woodlots in New Brunswick and even BEI and Nova Scotia that don't have, at least somewhere in the woodlot, fir thickets. They populate themselves very densely, so dense in that they suppress each other, and they become a very great obstacle to getting new regeneration, because under these fir thickets there's virtually no sunlight getting in on the ground.
So no growth underneath them.
Right. Beside us here is maybe a quarter acre that I've been working on for 5 or 6 years, coming in and gradually removing, although it's certainly not a total fir thicket because all the upper story trees are red spruce. We have a cedar.
Yeah, I see one cedar there up in the middle.
You know, in little bits and pieces, but everything you see down on the ground, that's all fir. And the sad part here is if you look out in where the sunlight is, that's been exposed for probably a couple of years, and we're still not getting any kind of regeneration.
A little bit of moss is the only green I see out there.
Yeah. So today we're going to go into a fresh fir thicket and basically discuss exactly how I approach starting out in a fir thicket.
It looks lovely down in there.
Oh, don't it? Okay, so this is an area that has not been touched by mankind in, I'm not sure how long, but probably 40 plus years at a dead minimum. And again, it's not an absolute pure fir stand, but by large majority it certainly is. Fir, 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 fir. Okay, you get the idea? But one of the things I also try and do, and we'll discuss exactly how I go about approaching this kind of situation, I want to show you what can happen if we look around a little more. So we'll just move a few feet this way. So just by going a dozen feet or so, we have here a very scrawny red maple.
Yeah, he's pretty scrawny.
About 25 foot tall. So this gives us something to actually work with, right? So we will go and clear through some of this fir thicket and just hope we get some regeneration. But here we have a genuine climate change, well-adapted tree that we can try and free up and let him get some real growth on him and hopefully have a prosperous future.
We're not in danger of creating another Mr. Bendy, are we?
Yes, we are. And that will become the tricky part, is exactly how much
to take out.
How much to take out and
without
still,
leaving them at risk.
Right. The benefit here is, like, unlike some areas, we probably don't have to fight too hard to try and find a place to drop some of the trees. There's a little bit of a clearing down here that should give us a spot for these trees to hopefully go down in.
Push.
There we go. Now that I have an area, this stuff will just drop on top of the others.
So you're just going to pile them up.
Pile them up.
Hung up in a bigger fir.
Yeah. Didn't do a great job directional felling. What working in a fir thicket's like.
Messy.
There we go. Easy peasy.
Right.
There we go. Now he's looking better.
Yeah. See, this guy on the left is kind of supporting him.
Sorry, what's that?
This fir on the right is kind of supporting him.
Yes, well, he's a red spruce.
Ah, so you want to keep him anyway.
Well, no, he's not as good as a red maple.
Yes, but for now, wouldn't you want to keep both of them? Because
Well, I'm thinking about the support. And yeah, I think for the time being, that should hopefully,
the maple gets a lot more sun than what he did have, but with any luck, he won't turn into a Mr. Bendy.
right. Yeah, so we'll move on over to,
See if we can find another valuable tree. Or
nope.
You don't think there are any?
We're going to accept there aren't any, and just how we get in there and go to work. Starting in an area like this, you can't just start falling trees willy-nilly unless you want a really big mess.
You got nowhere to put them.
And without professing to be expert at this, only experienced, what I do is go through and take out the dead and small stuff and start creating some spaces where I can start to work. Because down in there, there's virtually no place to go. So you start with the small stuff, not the bigger stuff, and then gradually we'll create openings that we can start to work with.
So you're giving yourself some elbow room.
That's the idea. And getting rid of dead branches that are going to put your eyes out.
That's what you got the shield for. your stuff you're cutting and your brush and stuff, why are you actually putting it in the pile instead of letting it stay where it falls?
Well, because otherwise as you move around, you're going to end up getting tangled up in all that stuff and tripping, falling, hurting.
So this way you only have to avoid one spot that's a pile of brush instead of being super careful everywhere you put your foot. And it creates a little habitat for critters.
Well, that too has an additional benefit, but the main thing is just so that you can start to move around with a little bit of freedom. And once we widen this a bit, this could be where we start to lay down trees once we get enough space in here. Alright, so in order to not make this too long, we're going to call it a wrap right at this point. All I've really done is created a little bit of walking room and maneuvering room, and it's still going to take a fair bit more to really get enough room in here to start following some of the bigger stuff. Of course, the problem I have here too is that we're probably very close to the 30-meter setback from the brook. So I can certainly fall trees into that thicket, but I really don't want to go any further in there and cut any of that to give me space to drop it in. So I'm still, gonna take a bit of time here and think exactly how I may want to proceed with the rest of this. And that's perfectly fine. You don't have to...
You don't go rushing in, cutting everything in sight.
Right. Take your time, think about it. Some days, what you can't think of today, you can certainly sometimes think of tomorrow. Whole new fresh idea. So anyhow, thanks for tuning in, and be safe, and we'll see you on the next video.
Catch you next time, guys.